Welcome to the Manic Metallic podcast, where we respect fashion's past, analyze fashion's present, and get excited about fashion's future. I'm Liberty Gaither, founder and creative principal of fashion media company Manic Metallic. Several times per week, I'll bring you episodes about exciting things happening in fashion, discussion about current issues facing the industry, and the places and people that have made the fashion industry great. Be sure to subscribe to our newsletter and follow us on Instagram at the Manic Metallic Podcast and at Manic Metallic, both linked in our show notes. Now, let's get into today's episode. Welcome to the Manic Metallic Podcast. I'm Liberty, your host. This episode might be slightly more brief because we're in the process of getting our fall-winter 2022 New York Fashion Week content compiled. We do want to keep showing up to discuss things such as what has us excited or curious inside of the fashion industry, however. There's so much negativity surrounding what we do in fashion that we like to shine a light on those things that are right with our profession. The first thing out of three that we're going to touch on is Manic Metallic's attendance at New York Fashion Week. We didn't want to attend a massive amount of shows because we're still in a pandemic, though in New York, COVID positivity rates are at their lowest since December, so we attended a select few. Fashion Week designers and venues all seem to take coronavirus precautions very seriously, with all of them requiring vaccinations, and many requiring masks before entry. It felt very safe. We noticed a lot of bright colors in collections, especially neon shades, which is a carryover from the recently completed Copenhagen Fashion Week. It also seemed that everywhere that we turned, we saw either animal print garments or Doc Martens. We want to go deeper into detail about what we spotted with regards to trends in an upcoming article, however, so we're going to wait to talk more about that later this week. One thing that we noticed is that, while show attendees were cordial enough, many seemed hesitant to speak to anyone other than who they attended the show with. That was unfortunate, because it's usually easier to network at Fashion Week. I'm pretty sure that there's a level of post-pandemic social hesitancy there, and I'm very curious to know how long that this will last, both this season and in upcoming collection seasons. To get more on our thoughts on the fall-winter 2022 New York Fashion Week season so far, keep an eye out for both articles and podcasts coming later this week. Next, we wanted to discuss Stockholm Fashion Week. Held February 7th through 9th, Stockholm's Fashion Week was even shorter than that of Copenhagen, its Scandinavian counterpart who had 4 days to Stockholm's 3. Design brand Philippa K's showing was sophisticated, but interesting at the same time. Not to mention warm, as it was inspired by Swedish winters. Designer Ida Sjöstedt's collection, I'm pretty sure I butchered that name, so I apologize, but her collection carried champagne and earth tones in terms of colors, and displayed a level of both glamour and craftsmanship that was compelling enough for youthful, elegant types to partake in. Stan Studio's collection contained electric shades of green, blue, pink, and red, not unlike what we saw at Copenhagen Fashion Week. There were plenty of bright outerwear pieces and furry boots to go around in Stan Studio's work. Those are 3 collections that stood out to me, but they are by no means the only great ones that were shown. Overall, Stockholm's output, which is about half in terms of the numbers of collections that Copenhagen held, was strong. I want to take a quick moment to tell you about Manic Metallic's recent product. Do you like fashion? Does it matter to you beyond just entertainment value? Well, Manic Metallic is a fashion media company that creates audio, written, and video content that supports our ethos that fashion is an art, discipline, and societal force for change. We recently published a fashion ebook titled Alternative Fashion Capitals, a survey of 20 cities of emerging thought leadership. In it, we detail 20 cities beyond just New York, Milan, London, and Paris that have thriving fashion scenes, and we dive deep into what they have to offer, including shopping districts, specific places to shop, brands, events, fashion organizations, fashion publications, and universities and colleges. These 20 cities have a lot to offer the world with regards to the fashion industry, and Manic Metallic is determined to share their stories. We'd love for you to consider purchasing this fashion ebook and for you to join our growing community via our website, social media, newsletter, and podcast. For more information on the ebook and where it can be purchased, please visit manicmetallic.com/products. We look forward to hearing from you. Now, back to the podcast. Last, Alexander McQueen creative director Sarah Burton has decided to show the brand's upcoming Fall/Winter 2022 collection in New York. The show is going to happen on March 15th, but no one has any details about what all else that it might entail. Having the McQueen brand show in New York is a true honor. Alexander McQueen, the man, was a genius and has inspired numerous fashion designers, artists, and other creatives over the years. If we keep having these kinds of nice surprises in New York's fashion scene, what with Tom Brown returning, McQueen's upcoming show, the return of Joseph Altuzarra, along with the strong infusion of new talent that New York has been experiencing recently, then things are going to remain on an upward trajectory for the city. And with that, we're going to close out the episode. Tune in for the next one, which will be a Who Is discussion. See you then. Thanks for listening. If you got value out of today's episode, it'd mean a lot to me if you'd rate, review, and subscribe to the Manic Metallic podcast. Be sure to tell all of your fashion-inclined friends and coworkers about the podcast as well. This would really help us to spread our message about fashion being an art, discipline, and force for societal change. And don't forget to stay in touch with us by subscribing to the Manic Metallic newsletter and following us on Instagram. Feel free to reach out to us through either of those means. I'd love to hear from you. I'll link these all in the show notes. You're the best. See you next episode.